The human attitude is malleable. By making our attitude more positive, open, and tolerant of other people, we can spark a different dynamic. We can learn from adversity, create opportunities out of nothing, and draw people to us. We must explore the limits of our willpower and how far it can take us. Robert Greene. Welcome to Flourish. I'm Diane Discusses, and you are in the right place to create an inspired life by making mindful decisions and taking positive actions to live harmoniously and imprint on those you love, those you influence, those you mentor. It begins with your own personal development. Jim Rohn once said, and I'll never forget this, work harder on yourself than anything else, and the rest will come to you. I didn't know what that meant for the longest time, but guess what? You work on your own personal development, your own self, and then the rest is gravy. You can help anybody. You can do anything. You can be whatever you want. Today we are discussing the Law of Self-Sabotage from Robert Greene's book, The Law of Human Nature, and this book provides you with actions to create an optimistic mindset and elevate your well-being and live an extraordinary life. If you've missed any of the episodes thus far, please go back and start. I'm going to link those in the show notes so you can watch or listen. But that makes me think of another quote from Maya Angelou, who said, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Wow. Once I read this chapter that we're going to discuss today, I understood what Maya Angelou was trying to tell us. You can change your attitude if you can't change your circumstances, and you can spark a different dynamic and learn from adversity. This means instead of being bitter about life, you can explore the limits of your willpower, and get better and see how far you can go. Greene gives a detailed account in this chapter of how Anton Chekhov was able to liberate himself when his family abandoned him at a young age. Abandoned him. Let that sink in. And if you don't know who Anton Chekhov is, it's worth a little search on the internet. Slowly, over time, a young Anton Chekhov was able to lift himself up. He did this through reading and learning and changing his attitude. He changed his attitude from, poor me, I'm living on the streets, to looking through a different lens. It took time. This is not an overnight quick fix, any imagination, but he was able to move forward. He was able to eventually forgive his father for abandonment and the treatment, and move forward, let go of the past. What was even more interesting about his life is that he eventually found his family again, lived with his family, who had treated him so poorly, and he actually taught them how to change their mindset in order to live a full life, full of possibilities, new experiences, and success. If you think about it, there's many stories out there like this that you already know. Imitate this attitude and be aware of the emotional baggage you are carrying. Be aware of the emotional baggage you may be carrying for someone else. Drop off your bags. Stop living a haunted life. Stop living the tragedy in life. Well, the world's a stage, right? Are you a comedy? Are you tragedy? Are you a drama? Stop the tragedy. Stop it. Greene says we all have moments of great doubt in ourselves. This is something that is not exclusive to you. It's not exclusive to me. We all have great doubts about ourselves. These emotions can lead to obsessive thoughts and dominate our minds. They make us curtail what we experience as a way to manage our anxiety and our disappointments. Ugh. But you know what else they do? They make us turn to alcohol, food, drugs, something to numb the pain, because that's the easy way. Without realizing it, we assume a negative and fearful attitude towards life because we make stuff up in our heads. And this becomes our self-imposed prison. But this is not how it has to be. The freedom that Chekhov experienced came from a choice. Came from a choice to choose a different way of looking at the world by changing his attitude. And we can all follow this path. It's all available to us, and it's free, but it's work. And I know it sounds very dark. I always try and bring a positive vibe to this show, but sometimes we have to talk about the reality in order to move forward. So it may be dark, but if you sit down and think about it and ask yourself questions, the answers will follow. Your brain cannot ignore a question you ask it. Plant the seed in your mind now. Last week I spoke about the law of defensiveness and how I no longer argue, and what amazing change that has been. This is the natural next step in understanding human nature and your quest for personal development, lifting up your bootstraps. So now what? How do you change your attitude to have freedom of thought? How do you do this? Well, Carl Jung defined it as an attitude is readiness of the psyche to act or react in a certain way. Your task as a student of human nature, Greene says, is to first you must become aware of your own attitude and how it slants your perceptions. Then you will have the power to alter it, to move forward in a positive direction. Second, you must not only be aware of the role of your attitude, but also believe in its supreme power to alter your circumstances. You are not a pawn in a game controlled by others. You are not. You are an active player. You can move the pieces at will and rewrite the rules. I love that. Can you see yourself? You are no longer a piece, a pawn on that chessboard, and somebody else is moving you around. You're in control. You are. So let's rewrite the rules of our lives. You can begin to improve the overall attitude into one of a positive nature. And Greene gives us some tips. And as a result, your confidence, creativity, relationships, and even how you handle stress in your life will reach new heights. This is not a new idea, but one that was first brought to fruition, I think widely known by William James, an American psychologist in 1890. 1890. Let's not waste another day, okay? Let's expand your horizon. Let's do this together. And here we go with the roadmap. First, how we view the world. See yourself as an explorer. Get out there. Be curious. Find out what's happening. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid of the unfamiliar, because it's the familiar that makes us comfortable, isn't it? Gonna stretch a little bit. Your subconscious is quite comfortable with familiarity. That's why we can do things without really thinking about it. Connecting with the world is now more important than to you being right. Challenge yourself. Look for new ideas. Create your own new way of thinking. Greene says, by opening the mind in this way, you will unleash unrealized creative powers and explore the insights that come from your own subconscious. Really gets you thinking. If you want a little bit more info on that topic, listen to episode 22, and I'll put it in the show notes. It's called Explore, Dream, Discover, and I go into great detail about that. But next on his list, how to view adversity. Your goal is to embrace obstacles and learning experiences. Get stronger and embrace life itself. This is something I will say you need to write down. As long as you're not driving right now, write it down. You put a reminder on your phone. You need to remind yourself. Remind yourself when things get hard to do or learn or understand, whatever that may be, whatever is getting hard. That is the sign. That is the sign. The struggle is the sign that you're very close to breaking through to the other side. Let me say that again. When you are feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, discouraged, that is when you are getting closer to the other side, to the acres of diamonds, okay? The struggle is real. And that feeling, embrace it, because you're getting closer to the reward for powering through and reaching your goal, because the happiness is in the pursuit, so you can stare adversity right in the face and decide how you're going to respond. And when you're feeling that struggle, oh, I'm getting close to breaking through. That's the breakthrough. Third, how to view yourself. Whatever you are doing now, you are in fact capable of so much more. And by thinking that, you will create a very different dynamic. By feeling you are destined for something great, something important, it'll give you a degree of resilience. You will build up that resilience, and you'll be ready for when people oppose or resist you. Do not internalize the naysayers, the doubters. Instead, have an enterprising spirit and bounce back from any failure or setback. You bounce back even higher because you are destined to succeed. You are destined for greatness, and you can reinvent yourself at any age. I go into great detail on an episode called Be Resolute. You got to listen to that. I'm linking that to the show notes too, because now I'm jazzed. Now I'm thinking like it doesn't matter what age you are. You can do this depending on how you view yourself. Next, how to view your energy and health. Our attitude plays an enormous role in our health, one that science is finally catching up to. You can safely push yourself beyond what you think are your physical limits by feeling excited and challenged by a project or endeavor, says Greene. You need to exercise your body, your mind. Exercise your mind. You're kind of doing that right now, aren't you? Earlier, I mentioned when you have doubts about yourself, these emotions can lead you to anxiety, lead you to disappointments. These are the ones that make us turn to food, comfort food. Oh, I'll have a little drink. Yeah, have a little bottle of wine with dinner. That just numbs the pain. The pain doesn't go away that way. That is why you need to change your attitude, to change your life, and how you view your energy and health. We always choose what we consume. It's a choice. And you make it twice, right? First, you think about it, and then you take action. So watch your thoughts. Watch those. And the last part of this roadmap is how to view other people. Save yourself from accumulating hurt and feelings by reminding yourself not to take things personally. That's a toughie. That is a real toughie. There is a lot of diversity in human behavior, and you can't change someone else. You can only change your attitude about them. Take a neutral stance, and you will become more tolerant towards other people. And as a result, your social interactions will be so much smoother, and people will be drawn to you. I would suggest you keep in mind what I spoke about episode 70 about this book, in the Laws of Human Nature, how you elevate your perspective. You don't have to tolerate destructive sociopaths that like to chip away at your persona, right? It's like a game for them. It's their personal entertainment. Let them go. So go back and listen to that episode if you missed that. By changing your attitude and moving away from the soulless, life-sucking, negative people, and not enslaving yourself to bitterness, you will become better over time by expanding your horizon and your knowledge. Better, not bitter. Better, not bitter. Put that on your phone. Positive thinking, when practiced and preached, say it out loud. Say it loud. It will change your destiny. Absolutely. And I'm not talking, motivation. No. This is all internal. This is the internal workings of human nature. That's why it works. As I mentioned, this is not a new concept, not a new idea, but it is something we need to remind ourselves of. And Gandhi came to mind. Keep your thoughts positive, because your thoughts become your words. Keep your words positive, because your words become your behavior. Keep your behavior positive, because your behavior becomes your habits. Keep your habits positive, because your habits become your values. Keep your values positive, because your values become your destiny. Gandhi, he says, start with positive thoughts. Your internal workings. It really does make a difference. Thank you for spending your precious time with me today. To remember to leave a review on iTunes or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast app, or on YouTube too, right? It helps other people find the show. And if you like the show, share it with someone you know. Heck, share it with 3 people. And I'm going to have a lot of links on this one. I mentioned a lot of different episodes, and they all intertwine and they combine, and it's like you're getting a free lesson here. So I'm going to also link episode 17, Determination, and that gives you some ideas on starting to build that foundation to grow on, because if you have a solid foundation, it's a lot easier. And I'm also working on a Club app. Follow me at Inspired Diane if you're on Clubhouse, because I think it would be fun to actually have a conversation. That's what's kind of neat about the app. Live an inspired life and explore your willpower, because every setback, every obstacle gives you another opportunity to grow and to flourish.